Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 1447, 1447. If you think about it, there's 14, and then there's a 7, and 2 plus 9 equals 7. It's Mike Matthews broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont at 1447. This is the show where we broadcast from Cafe Anyway. It's called Mike's Daily Podcast. It's a wonderful show. It's a podcast that comes to you daily right here. And I am going to have some great guests like Bison Bentley, Mike's Daily Podcast, Valentino, Madame Rootabega. We'll talk about things and issues at length, and I hope I get the strength to get through this show. There's some interesting stories to get to, and there are things that you never knew that we'll get to as well. We'll get to it all. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Mike's Daily Podcast, there's lots of bats, and of course we know the bats make this kind of a sound. Ee! Ee! Mike's, don't they? Daily. I thought that's what they... Podcast. Do bats like quinoa? Yeah! Bats flying all around Podcastro Valley. If you go outside in a heavily wooded area with lots of wood and trees, you will start to see them flapping around just after 7 p.m. If you don't believe me, do it. Because it's happening every night. I see it. It's happening. And you know what?
It's 130% true.
Yeah, no kidding.
Look who walked just in now, just. Hello, Michael Matthews. It's Madame Rootabega. How are things today? Is the internet working? Ooh. Yes, the internet is working. Ooh, it's working well. I'm not having to steal my next-door neighbor's Wi-Fi. I did that for a while. Look who else walked in. I didn't pay for internet for the longest time when I lived in Ventura, downtown Ventura, because I lived in a duplex and the guy next door had Wi-Fi, and he said, yeah, go ahead and use it. So I bought this little thing that let me connect, and it was so slow. Oh, so slow. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the bad thing.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
Mike, we really don't like Trump anymore because he is ruining the country day.
Yeah, he's making it bad. Do you know that?
Which is a very good thing. Which is a very, very good thing.
Wait, I thought you guys were big Trump supporters.
And here's today's podcast picture.
Wrong.
Well, we were at the beginning, but then things started going heck in a handbag. Skit. We really wanted Chris Christie to win.
Yeah, Chris Christie. Do you know that? Well, some interesting things did happen with Trump. We'll see what they are. Who would you vote for, you Republican-leaning guys? Who would you vote for if you didn't have Trump?
I'd vote for that guy in Alabama that just won, that weird redneck-looking guy there.
Yeah, rednecks! Do you know that? All right. Right. The podcast picture today is of this wonderful place in Florida. It's a beach. In fact, I think I texted this picture to Haley, who used to do the Daily Haley on this show way back, and who is my only listener other than Sylvia. And I texted this to Haley saying, hey, I'm on the beach. I'm here. I hope I don't clog up my ears again, because the last time I was in Daytona Beach, I clogged up an ear hole, and it would not, I couldn't hear out of it for about a month, 2 months afterwards. That did not happen this trip, thankfully. I'm so glad. I really appreciate my hearing now, especially since I do a podcast where hearing is kind of necessary to... I guess you could get the transcription. I guess if you... because you can listen to the show on YouTube, and you can put on the captions, and I think they try and figure out what I'm saying, and they put it in caption form, so you could technically read the show. I should try that sometime. I should play it back and try and redo the show from what the previous show was, where I'm looking at the captions. That would be so unbelievably funny, wouldn't it?
That's terrible.
Oh.
That's not how it works.
It's not?
That's not how any of this works.
These old ladies from that commercial, that's all you see in Daytona Beach. That and an occasional woman that's a little bit younger. And some guys that are way too tan, that have been out in the sun way too long, that got way too many tattoos. And I don't understand tattoos. Please, please explain. I understand when you got a little one and it's in a place that's sort of, private and not everybody sees it. But when you are, and I'm seeing this more and more often, young, beautiful women getting the ugliest tattoos on their skin in the most prevalent area that you can see all the time. It doesn't. It's as if they're saying, "Yeah, and I'm beautiful, and I hate my beauty, so I'm just gonna mess it all up." I know this one girl on Instagram, and by the way, I have deleted the Instagram account off of my phone. I'm completely done with Instagram, except for I got an app that you can get through your Google Chrome, where you can upload pictures to Instagram. I discovered this. It's in the App Store, but it's in this weird app store that Google Chrome has only. I think you have to get to it through the settings section of your Chrome. And it allows you to upload pictures to Instagram, post pictures on Instagram without actually having... you have to have an Instagram account to begin with. So I guess I technically still have my Instagram account, but I don't have it on my phone. And I do have the app through Windows 10, I think, that I can just check real quick to see if my picture actually made it. It's this weird system I figured out. But I still check Instagram a little bit, but I'm on my computer at home when I do it. And there's this one girl who always posts movies every day. She's got a story that she's got to post every day. Those are the video type posts that you can do on Instagram. And she has the worst tattoos I've ever seen. It looks like a human being that she knows who had their brain removed from their head completely. And then it was that space where the brain is. They decided to take a 5-month-old bagel that had been sitting out in the rain. They put that in the place of where the brain should be. Then they sewed it back up, and then they told this person, hey, put a tattoo on this girl. And this person who has blank for brains, who has a damp, soggy bagel for brains, is then asked to... This pen doesn't work. Oh, now it does. Is then asked to put a tattoo on this girl's beautiful, beautiful arms. Beautiful arms. So beautiful. And yet the tattoo is ridiculously bad. And there it is for all to see forever, unless she wants to pay the expensive tattoo removal, which is painful and takes a long, long time, and is way the opposite of the impulse that she had, the impulsiveness to have that tattoo put on her arm in the first place. My point being, tattoos are bad. Shall I go on?
It's time to stop, okay?
No more?
No more!
Okay. I guess that's my point. At any rate, I don't understand it, and that is happening a lot, ad infinitum, all over. Specifically with young people in their 20s, I guess you can call them millennials. So I don't understand that. Maybe you can explain. Email me, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. You can also call me at 336-MM-DAILY, because I am Mike Matthews, thus my initials are MM, 336-MM-DAILY. And there's also the website, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Oh, sorry, my nose, it's getting cold, and this is the time of year where my nose is all fussy. MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com has links to the Amazon rainforest, or actually the website, where we have an interesting story about Amazon in a moment. But you can click on that Amazon link, buy whatever it is you're going to buy, and that helps the show out. There's also a PayPal link there if you'd like to help us out that way. You'll get a special greeting from all the Cafe Anyway characters and all the past podcast pictures. The past podcast pictures I've been posting, lots of plosives there, have been from Daytona Beach from my recent trip. So check those out at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Now let's get to the section called
Fair and Unbalanced.
That's what this is. Fair and Unbalanced. First off, the guy, Roy Moore, he did it. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. About a week ago or so, they were going, yeah, he probably is going to get beat by the incumbent. No, he freaking kicked the guy that was nominated, or Luther Strange, tall Luther, large Luther, whatever Donald Trump called him. He was put in that position in the Senate by the former senator who is now the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, in Alabama, which, by the way, made this the biggest, hugest, unimpedingly big thing that ever happened in Alabama. Ever. And this guy that I knew in Alabama, Dale Jackson, he was a morning show. He's still a morning show talk show host in Huntsville, Alabama. And when I worked for the sister station, The Wolf, which no longer exists anymore. Sorry, I gotta wipe my nose. I am just in a bad way in my nose holes today. Dale, I played pool with Dale. I went out drinking with Dale. Dale is an interesting guy. Dale and I both had a crush on the same girl that was working at our station. And he said to me one time, Mike, I'm going to punch you square in the face if you ask this girl out. And I go, Dale, I'm not going to ask this girl out because I'm married. And he goes, okay. And I said, okay. Actually, no, I said, all right. But actually, that story did not happen. We did talk about this girl, however, how pretty she was. And he told me that she reminded him of a girlfriend he had way back, and he was smitten with her. Now, I don't know if anything ever developed between the two. Certainly nothing developed between me and her because I was married and very faithful to my wife at the time. But there you have it. That was Dale Jackson. He hosts a show in the morning there in Alabama, and he was a pivotal part of this election because he got to talk to everybody, and a lot of news stations, news radio stations, news networks, TV stations all across the country used Dale Jackson footage. So way to go to him. Overall, a very nice guy and very funny. We had a lot of interesting chats. May have a bit of an ego, but there you have it. No, he would probably say, yeah, I got a huge ego, but whatever. That was Dale Jackson got a lot of exposure this past year because of this election. This big non-victory for Luther Strange. But Luther Vandross, he was amazing, wasn't he? So sad he's gone. I'm rediscovering some of his early hits, and I'm like, damn, this dude, God, what a voice. If I could only sing as he. Which that's not how he sounded at all. He sounded much better. But the appointed incumbent, backed by President Donald Trump and allies of Senator Mitch McConnell, was defeated. Luther Strange. It's a big upset, and the first really huge upset to rock the GOP establishment. So this is going to get a lot of press today. Moore will face Democrat Doug Jones in the December 12th special election. Now, this Doug Jones, they're going to put a lot of money into this election, but all the analysts say, just about all of them say, that there is no way the Democrat can win. First off, Alabama, as you know, is a very red state, and December 12th, right around, it's in between Thanksgiving, Christmas, and their big, what's it called, the Iron Bowl, or whatever their big football game is between Alabama's red people and Alabama's orange people. I forget the name of the teams. I lived there for 2 years, and I'm blocking it. Auburn and University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa, right. They have this huge showdown every year, and it is like nobody goes outside. I know this for a fact. I saw this with my own eyes. You go outside, nobody's out there. Everybody is inside watching this game, eating incredibly fattening, delicious foods. And that's what life is like in Alabama. So nobody's going to go out for this election December 12th. Heck, nobody's going to win this election, maybe. But definitely not the Democrats. So Doug Jones, I'm sorry, but it looks like Senator Moore is going to... I mean, the future Senator Moore. He's now a judge, an ex-judge. He got kicked off of... Let's see, he was removed from the duties of Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. 2003, he was removed from office for disobeying a federal judge's order to remove a Ten Commandments monument from the state courthouse. So the fact that he disobeyed that goes directly against the Ten Commandments, doesn't it? I think obeying has something to do with one of the commandments. But the alt-right loves him because he stood up for deeply held Christian principles. He was permanently suspended after a disciplinary panel ruled he had urged probate judges to defy federal court decisions on gay marriage and deny wedding licenses to same-sex couples. So the alt-right, the Christian right is like, yeah, that's what we're all about. This guy, drain the swamp. Forget you, Trump. You've let us down.
I know what's good and bad.
No!
I inherited a mess.
And
it's a mess.
You've done nothing with the mess, is what they're saying. So Trump endorsed Luther Vandross Strange in the race and tweeted support for him on multiple occasions. As polls showed Strange in danger of losing, Trump visited Alabama to campaign at a rally attended by more than 7,000 people. Moore was propelled by evangelical voters, consolidated support from a number of anti-establishment forces. Throughout the campaign, Moore argued the election was an opportunity to send a message to the elite Washington establishment that he was trying to influence the race. The Senate Leadership Fund, a group with ties to McConnell, had spent an estimated $9 million trying to secure the nomination for Strange. But it didn't happen. Moore got it. And this gets more strange and more strange as we continue because... Moore, who believes that God's law can invalidate federal court decisions, he has, let's see, now the front runner to win the seat. Okay, we got through that. He said, we return to the knowledge of God and the Constitution of the United States to the United States Congress. We have become a nation that has distanced ourselves from the very foundation. In a tweet, Trump quickly threw his support behind Moore. Congratulations to Roy Moore on his Republican primary win in Alabama. Luther Strange started way back and ran a good race. Roy, win in December. Okay. Hey, I don't have much time. I got to wrap this up. President Trump distanced himself last night from the candidate's loss. We're talking, of course, of Strange. In the most Trumpian way possible, he deleted his tweets where he supported Strange. Hours after Senator Luther Strange lost in Tuesday's primary runoff, Trump excised at least 3 favorable Twitter posts, including one sent Tuesday morning. In that tweet, posted as the polls in Alabama opened, the president boasted that Mr. Strange, quote, had been shooting up in the Alabama polls since my endorsement. And Trump deleted that because it was obviously wrong. And it sounds better when he says it, which I don't have it at hand. Here it is. No, here.
Wrong.
Too many pages to flip through. Mr. Strange, who was appointed to the Senate early this year after Jeff Sessions vacated his seat to become Attorney General under Mr. Trump, conceded last night to Roy Moore, a former Alabama Supreme Court justice, whose candidacy was opposed by leading establishment Republicans. The deleted tweets were archived by ProPublica, a nonprofit journalism website. They are no longer public on Twitter, though. feeding an intriguing legal debate about whether Mr. Trump is breaking the law when he expunges his tweets. Interesting. That's a whole other story. Mr. Trump and Mike Pence, our vice president, visited Alabama last Friday to attend a rally for Mr. Strange. The closely watched campaign was seen by many as a barometer of Mr. Trump's political sway. Mr. Strange was the first candidate endorsed by the president to lose an election. And that is very interesting to note because so far everybody's won, and I know Trump will probably make mention of that. But meanwhile, back to Obamacare, that Graham-Cassidy law that was trying to overhaul Obamacare. It's officially over now after the Senate leaders announced they would not bring it up for a vote. The damage to the health insurance market from the lengthy repeal debate is done, with higher premiums and fewer choices already baked into the Obamacare 2018 exchanges. Now Republican leaders and Donald Trump have to decide what to do about it. Let's see. This article goes on and is boring. Finally, Iran. President Donald Trump blasted Iran on Twitter on Saturday for carrying out ballistic missile tests, but officials now say the footage of the launch aired on Iranian state TV was fake. The video released by the Iranian government was more than 7 months old. Two unnamed officials told the news channel Fox News that the footage dated back to a failed launch in late January, during which the missile exploded shortly after takeoff. Tehran had claimed that it had successfully launched a new type of medium-range missile hours after the projectile was displayed during a military parade in the Iranian capital. Trump responded to the Iranian claims, saying the 2015 nuclear agreement with the Islamic Republic was not much of an agreement. And finally, Amazon. In a rare public feud between large technology companies, Amazon said yesterday its Echo Show devices could no longer play videos from YouTube because Google, who owns YouTube, stopped supporting the service. The spat is the latest in Silicon Valley, in which competitive tension stood in the way of customers. Amazon and Google square off in many areas, from cloud computing and online search to selling voice-controlled gadgets like the Echo Show. In a statement, Amazon said, as of this afternoon, Google has chosen to no longer make YouTube available on Echo Show without explanation, without notification to customers. There is no technical reason for that decision, which is disappointing and hurts both of our customers. I also discovered that Vizio, owned by Sony, it is their TV manufacturing division, and Vizio, the Vizio that I have from 5 years ago, that used to have the YouTube app on it, as of a month ago, YouTube said, no, we're no longer supporting this app. So I can't watch YouTube videos on my TV. I have to now hook up a laptop or a computer to my TV and watch YouTube videos that way. Not that watching YouTube videos on a TV makes sense, because a lot of those videos have been, they're not the best quality, and you get a bunch of pixels on your screen and it looks awful. It gets pixelated. Google said instead the development was no surprise. We've been in negotiations with Amazon for a long time, working towards an agreement that provides great experiences for customers on both platforms. Amazon's implementation of YouTube on the Echo Show violates our terms of service, creating a broken user experience. We hope to be able to reach an agreement and resolve these issues soon. As we go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Next show, it's going to be Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the Engineer. Have a wonderful day. Get a bagel. No? All right. Not even a soggy bagel. Nope. No, you can stay away from those. All right. But remember the phone number here if you want to comment on anything you heard today. 336-MM-DAILY. Leave a message. You'll hear the disgruntled fiddle player pick up the phone, and you can leave a message there. 336-MM-DAILY.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.
Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com.
See you tomorrow. Bye!